Okay. Hi, I'm Annie Meltzer. I am a master's student in my second year here at UT. I did my undergrad at University of Iowa, where I was geography and environmental studies. I also studied international studies and sustainability, so I was pretty well rounded there. But at Iowa, I focused a lot more on the human and the environmental side of sustainability, and I didn't really study anything about the economic aspect, which in the real world, that's what drives sustainability. And so now I'm focusing more on economic studies as it applies to geography, and I feel like this is bringing a more well-rounded sense to my studies of sustainability.
Is that one of the reasons you chose your current advisor?
Yeah, Madhuri Sharma, she does a lot of social urban economic studies, and which I'm more on the agricultural side of economics, but her work is very interesting to me because when I work with her, I get to work with demography, and that's another one of my things that I'm really interested in.
How did you come to choose UT?
I chose UT because first and foremost, Eastern Tennessee is gorgeous. If you're not going to come to UT for school, at least come to visit. Mm-hmm. You'll have a great time. But the UT Geography department is stacked. We've got a lot of wonderful professors, a lot of people with just really interesting studies. And there's a lot of people that have minor overlap, but there's always people that can review your work and tell you what you can improve on, maybe a better direction to work in, but there's not enough overlap that there's explicit competition, that you always have to watch your back or worry about anything like that. So I feel like UT's geography department is very welcoming, and it's a very ideal place to work. It really fosters creativity and fosters innovation, for sure.
You said they fostered interests such as demography. What other research interests do you have that UT is able to help you with?
Well, I've been studying like economic geography in terms of like trade and like trade statistics, price data, all that, and how that kind of applies to demography is pretty much what I'm studying, and that's really fostered by, we have some really great quantitative geographers here, especially like towards the statistics side of it, and so I've really grown in that way by applying statistics. One of the degree requirements for masters is our 415 quantitative geography, which really focuses on statistical methods, and I was very familiar with that in the first place coming from undergrad, but I didn't realize how very, very applicable that was to my studies. So that really made my studies more robust. And then Geography 515 is like the extension of that class, which I'm in right now, and I'm loving it. It makes me feel...
What is 515?
Geography 515 is, I'm not sure the actual name of it, but it's like advanced quantitative methods for geography. And that's been like one of my favorite classes here.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's really taught me the most applicable methods of geography outside of GIS. And I feel like a lot of people look at geography as either human geography or GIS or physical geography. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize that there's a lot of like statistical methods you can apply to geography and be very in demand in your field.
So more specifically, what type of research projects have you done in the past?
Most recent work that I'm just starting now is I'm teaming up with a remote sensor in our department, and so we're applying my economic trade data analysis with her remote sensing analysis. So her remote sensing shows from space what's happening on the ground, and you can see it all in the imagery. And so my data is applying agricultural production and trade, and so what's going through the markets. And so we're kind of comparing what you can see from above versus what you can see on the ground, and we're thinking that we're going to get some really exciting results about it. And so, yeah, especially with our department with like I said, how there's a lot of different people doing very different things with just a little bit of overlap. If you can find that little bit of overlap and figure out how to expand it, you get some really exciting results. So that's why I really like geography, because it is so diverse.
Has geography given you any experiences where you've been able to travel?
Absolutely. Especially in undergrad, I got to see what's exciting about undergrad geography is you get to take such diverse classes because like in our department, I know we have a lot of different courses in very different subdisciplines, and a lot of the times either with study abroad or maybe with your church volunteer work, you get to travel a lot. You get a lot of good opportunities as a student to travel, and especially if you've taken a lot of geography courses where they teach you, like, this is what's happening and these are different ways that these interact in the real world. And when you get to travel and you start seeing what you've learned in the classroom, when you get to start seeing those on the ground, it's really exciting. Like, I got to travel, I did a trip in my undergrad with my church we went to Nicaragua, and I saw a lot of the common themes that we saw in courses about, like, economic trade, and we got to go see a free trade area, a free trade zone, and a sweatshop, and it was really interesting to see what I've been seeing in my economic geography courses as an undergrad, to see it in action and to, like, put myself in that real world situation and be like, wow, this is I'm applying what I learned in school in real life, and it's super interesting. A lot of geographers get to do, like, on the ground field work. They get to travel around the world.
Yeah. How has the department helped your professional experience?
Well, I feel like since the department is so interdisciplinary, and like I said about the overlap, you really, just by, like, speaking with people and having them review your work and reviewing their work and having really intellectual conversations, you really pick up on skills from other disciplines along the way. Like, I have a couple friends that are very physical geographers, so over the summer I just helped out a little bit with their field work, and I got to learn a lot about, like, trees and dendrochronology and all that, and which it may or may not be useful in the future, but it's really interesting information to just have in my brain. Other than that, since we're so interdisciplinary, it really piques your interest into other departments, into other programs. And so part of the flexibility of the master's program is you can take a class or two outside of the geography department. Next semester, I'm going to be taking a course in sociology and quantitative methods, which is going to be very similar to what I've learned in here so far, but maybe I'll learn some skills that I can apply in a different way. Or we also happen to have a really good agricultural department on campus, so I got to take a couple of ag econ courses last semester that have been really helpful in my research. There's a lot of support in our department, a lot of encouragement for people to go to national and regional conferences. In April every year, there's the annual meeting of the Association of American Geographers. Coming up next week, we have the annual meeting of CDAG, the Southeastern Division of American Association of American Geographers, CDAG. There's a lot of people that are really excited about that. It's a great way to really present your work in a very constructive way, get opinions of other people from different geographies and different departments, and it's always a really great way to kind of like flex your muscles and really feel really confident about your work.